Welcome back to my jQuery crash course lesson number 8, and in today's video I'm going to be going over CSS classes, how we can manipulate CSS classes and the CSS method. So this is actually going to be an example of it. So when we click the button and actually inspect this, then we can see that we've added all of these CSS styles. And before we actually get started, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit me up on Discord or Instagram if you want a private one-on-one lesson. And now, let's get started. We're going to start by manipulating our CSS by using HTML classes. So let's make a few elements. I'm going to make an H1 with some text. So heading 1. We're going to make an HR and then also a paragraph. And let's use Lorem to generate some text here. This is going to be enough for me. You can make more. Now we can open our CSS file and add a few classes. So let's add one for colors. I'm going to do red, blue, and green. And here we're going to change the color to red. This one's going to be for green. I'm going to change this to green. And then we got one more. I'm going to do blue. Change this to blue. And now that we have a few basic CSS classes, let's go to our HTML file and create a button because I forgot to. So when we click the button, then we're going to add all of the HTML classes to our elements. So I'm just going to right click me to add styles, and here's the button. Let's go to our JavaScript file and start with the H1, but before we actually do that, we have to add an event listener to the button. So we're going to select the button, and on click we're going to run a callback function. And now I'm going to go over the syntax of how we can add classes to elements. So first we have to select the element, which is going to be the H1, and we're going to write dot add class, and in the round brackets we're going to write the class. So let's change the color of the H1 to blue, so blue. And now when we click the button, then we can see it change to blue. Let's try the HR, and it shouldn't work. So HR, let's do red, and if I click it, it doesn't work. But if we actually inspect it and take a look at it, we can see that it has a class of red now. Now let's try to do the paragraph here. So we're going to change this to P. And now this is going to be blue, it's going to be red. And let's actually also change the button. So we're going to do button and change the color to green. So let's actually change this to green and then the button to red. So red here. Now when we click it, then it didn't work. That's because I misspelled green here, so now we can see it work. So this is going to be the basics of how we can add classes. Now we can also remove them. So let's make another button, which is going to remove them. So remove. And you can obviously do a lot more than just colors. You can change the font size and so on by adding special classes, but I'm not going to go over that because I don't want the video to be too long. So now let's actually change this to add and remove. So add, remove, and add IDs. So ID add, and then we're also going to do an ID of remove. Go back here, and then we're going to select the button with an ID of add. Let's copy, paste this under, change this to remove now. And so here what we're going to do is when we click the button, or this button, then what we're going to do is remove all of these styles. It works the same way with .add class. This is going to be your remove class. So we're going to do remove class for the first one, and for the second, the third. So I'll just copy and paste all of this here. And now if we click on remove, nothing happens. That's because you don't have any of the classes. So if we click on add right now, we can see all of the classes being added to the elements. And if we click on remove, then we can see that it's going to remove all of the classes. Now we can actually do all of this with one button. So let's do this, comment that out, and make a button. And here we're just going to write toggle styles. So toggle styles. And what we're going to do here is let's comment all of this out. Let's actually copy this and paste it at the very top here. Uncomment this, and now we can select the button because we only have one button. So select button, And now we're gonna use something called toggle class. So this is gonna be toggle class, and that's basically gonna go from add class to remove class, and this is how it's gonna work. So if we click it, we can see it's gonna add the class, and if we click it again, it's gonna remove it. So it's basically doing all of this work in one button, which is pretty neat. Now we can actually make this a bit more functional, so we can do something like removing a class of hide from the paragraph. So we can do toggle text, just capitalize it T real quick, and I'm going to add a style of hide, which is going to set the display property to none. And when we click the button, then we're going to toggle that class. So let's select the paragraph and then toggle class, which is going to be the hide. And now when we click it, we're going to show the text, and when we click it again, then we're going to hide it. And you can obviously do a lot more, but I'm just going to show you the very basics so that this video wouldn't be too long. And now that we know how we can manipulate HTML classes, let's move on to the CSS method. So we can delete all of our classes from our CSS file. Let's remove the button and uncomment both of these buttons. And now what we're going to do is go to our JavaScript file, uncomment all of this, and let's remove the other button that we had. So now when we click it, we can see that nothing happens, and that's because we don't have the CSS classes anymore. So now let's go over the syntax and how it works. So let's actually just comment the remove button for now because we're not going to use it right now. And let's go over it. So first we have to select the element. Let's select the H1, and we need to write CSS, use the round brackets, and here we're going to need two values. So the first value is going to be the property, and the second one is going to be the value of the property. So let's say that we wanted to do something like change the background color to, let's say, I don't know, let's do blue. Let's do dark blue. And when we click the button, then we can see that we've changed the background color of the H1 to dark blue. Now, let's say that we also wanted to change the color, not just the background color. And to do that, we have to put all of this text inside of curly brackets, and we have to change the comma to colon. So this is kind of like the CSS, or how we do this in our CSS classes, just a bit different. Now we can add a comma and then add the color property, and then we're going to set that to white. See what that would look like. So there we go. And let's actually go here, remove the padding. So padding 0, not the padding, I meant the margin, like this. And now we can actually add some padding. So let's add another property and value. To do that, we have to add a colon, or not a colon, a comma. And then here we're gonna add some padding. So padding, and the padding, so 0.5 or 6 rems. And then we can do 0.2 rem. So add, now we have some padding. And let's actually set the text align. So let's add another property, text align, and we can set that to center. So now we can see that we have a heading, and now we can style our paragraph. So let's select the paragraph, so p.css, and we can start by changing the font size. So let's do font size 20 pixels. Now it's a bit bigger. Let's change the color. To do that, let's put that in curly brackets and then change this to a colon. And then I'm gonna just add one more style because I don't want to make this video too long. So we're gonna change the color, and let's change that to green. Click, and now we've changed the font size and color to green of the paragraph. And before I end this video, let's actually do one more thing. So I'm not really sure why I added the remove button, so let's just remove that. What we can also do is select the button, so button, and here we're going to set the CSS, and what we're going to do is set the display property to none. So we're basically just going to remove the button when we click it, and so Now we're going to add all of these styles and at the same time remove the button. And so this is where I'm going to end this lesson off. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, then leave a like, subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any new upcoming lessons. Hit me up on Discord or Instagram if you want a one-on-one private lesson. Comment down below if you have any questions, video requests, or anything else that you would like to say. And hopefully see you in the next video.